today's lecture, cost of parallel system, effect of granularity on performance, and scalability of a parallel systems. We will discuss in detail. So, as far as the cost of parallel system is concerned, we already discussed. That is the cost of serial algorithm is different compared to the cost of parallel algorithm. As far as resources are concerned, if you see there, in case of the parallel system, number of processors are more, and on you can say the in case of the serial algorithm, it will run on a machine having the single processor also, if you see there. So in that case, as far as resources are concerned, then definitely serial algorithm will require less cost in that case, if you see there, as far as the number of processors are concerned there, you see there. So we'll discuss cost of a parallel system in current topic. Okay, and generally cost of a parallel algorithm, or it is the product of a parallel runtime of an algorithm and the number of processing elements or the processors used in that particular system. That is it is the multiplication of P. P is nothing but the number of processing elements, and TP is the parallel runtime of an algorithm, if you see there. So you should remember. So cost of a parallel algorithm generally given by the product of the number of parallel elements P, and it is multiplied by the parallel runtime TP, if you see there. And if you see the second statement from a current slide, cost reflects the sum of the time that each processing element spent solving the problem. Yeah, in case of the parallel runtime, because there are number of processing elements are there, and every that is each processing element is working on a specific task, okay, from a given problem, if you see there. So the processing time will be considered as a sum of the time that each processing element spends solving that particular larger problem, okay, which is divided among the n number of processing elements. Then if you see the third statement, a parallel system is said to be cost optimal. If the cost of solving a problem on a parallel computer is asymptotically identical to serial, can say the cost, if you see there. So when you will say that the parallel algorithm is cost optimal, so if the cost of solving a same problem on a parallel computer is asymptotically identical to the serial cost of the same algorithm, means serial version of a same algorithm. In that case, your parallel algorithm will become a cost optimal. Because this may be contradictory to our assumption also, if you say there, because if you are considering the large size problem, okay, so that is the cost of a parallel algorithm will be definitely different than a cost of a serial version of the same algorithm, if you see there. So if you see the fourth statement here, since E equal to, E means the efficiency, equal to TS divided by PTP, that is the TS divided by TP. E equal to TS divided by PTP. So what is TS here? TS is the serial runtime, and PTP is nothing but the parallel runtime, because parallel runtime, we have seen the first statement there. It is that is the multiplication of the number of processing element P, and that is the parallel runtime TP. In this way, you can show the cost of a parallel runtime, if you see that. So yes, so E equal to TS upon you can say the P. P is nothing but the you can say the number of resources we have seen there, and this is represented using the P into TP, that is the cost of a parallel runtime. If you see there, for cost optimal systems, E is assumed to be of the order of O of 1, if you see there. So for cost optimal system, efficiency is equal to O of 1, if you see there. So cost is sometimes referred to as work or processor time product also. So you have to remember, sometimes cost is referred to as a work performed by the that particular processor, or it is processor time product, if you see there. If there are n number of processors, that is n equal to p equal to n. So that product will be n into Tp, if you see there. Then cost of a parallel system, same example will continue here. Consider the problem of adding numbers on processors. Okay, so we have Tp equal to log n, or p equal to n. Okay, if you are assuming there number of processing element p equal to n, means n number of processing elements are there. In that case, Tp will become log n, because instead of log p, it will become log n. You will see that the cost of this system is given by then PTP equal to n log n. You can see that. And since the serial runtime of this operation is theta of n, the algorithm is not cost optimal. You can see that. And for the same algorithm, as the serial runtime is of the in terms of the asymptotic notation theta of n, in that case, this algorithm is not cost optimal. You can see that. So these are the different you can say the ways to measure the cost of parallel algorithms. Then we will see the impact of non-cost optimality. Means if your parallel algorithm is not cost optimal, so what will be its impact in that case? If you see there. So consider a sorting algorithm. We will take one example here. Consider a sorting algorithm that uses n processing elements and elements to sort the list in time log n square. Okay, so since the serial time of a sort, so this is actually comparison based sorting, is n log n, the speed up and efficiency of this algorithm are given by, that is the speed up as n by log n and efficiency as 1 by log n respectively. In this case, the PTP product of this algorithm is n time log n square. If you see that PTP is nothing but the parallel, that is the cost of the parallel algorithm we have discussed. Then second statement, if you read, this algorithm is not cost optimal, but this is by the factor of log n only, if you see that. And if p less than n, p less than n means number of processing elements are less than the number of elements in problem, or the size of problem n. In that case, so assigning n tasks to p processors, which gives the Tp equal to n time log n square divided by p, if you see there. And the corresponding speed up of this formulation is p divided by log n. You know, speed up is equal to Ts by Tp, so it will become p by log n. And you know, efficiency also equal to that is the S by P. So S is the speed up and P is the number of resources, if you say that. So you need to remember this basic formula, and from which you can derive the different that is the, you can say, equations or derivations. The corresponding speed up of this formulation is P by log n. Okay, so this speed up goes down as the problem size n is increased for a given p number of processors. If you see there, the speed up of system will goes on decreasing or goes down as the problem size n is increased for a same number of processor, that is the p. Means you are keeping here number of processors constant p, and you are increasing the problem size. In that case, speed up of your system will goes down, if you see that. But you are keeping here number of processing element constant, if you see that is the p, and you are just increasing the problem size n. In that case, the speed up goes on decreasing. So this is the different ways to you can say the compute the cost of parallel algorithms, if you see there. and we have seen the impact of non-cost optimality also in current slide. Then this was the from yesterday's topic, if you say there, and there is another topic, effect of granularity on performance. So granularity means here you have to consider the number of processing elements as well as the size of problem also, if you see there, because as you are increasing the number of processors, and that is the keeping the problem size same, okay, so it will have the different impact on a that is the overall performance of an algorithm. If you see there, if number of processors, if you are keeping same and you are increasing the problem size, in that case definitely it will require more time to complete the execution of that particular task, if you see there. So if you see the current slide, often using fewer processors improves performance of parallel systems. Okay, so this is possible in case of the smaller size problems, if you see there. But as problem size goes on increasing, in that case performance will definitely goes on decreasing, if you see there. So if you read the second statement there, using fewer than the maximum possible number of processing elements to execute a parallel algorithm is called scaling down a parallel system. So sometime a question might be there, what is scaling down a problem system? So there is that is the possible maximum number of processors which are allowed in that particular system, parallel system. Okay, in that case, so you can reduce the number of processors in that case. That is the maximum possible number of processors. Okay, you can keep in your system. Okay, if you see that minimum limit may be there in that particular system. So using those number of processors, your system will work. Okay, so its performance may change in that case, but system will work in that case. If you initially maximum number of processors in your system were 10, but minimum limit can be, you can keep 5 number of processors. So if you keep only the 5 number of processors, then you are reducing your number of processors from 10 to 5. This is called as the scaling down in your parallel system, if you see there. Then if you see the third point in current slide, the Neve way of scaling down is to think of each processor in the original case as a virtual processor and to assign virtual processor equally to scale down processors. As you know, as you are decreasing the number of we can say the physical processor in your parallel system, then you need to assign the virtual processor to its physical processor. Okay, to keep working equivalent to your 10 number of processor in your system, if you see that. So per processor, if you are keeping the 5 number of processors, so per processor you need to assign one virtual processor in order to keep that kind of environment. That is the your parallel system is working as an having the 10 number of processors there, even though it is scaled down to the 5 number of processors, if you see. So this is called as the assignment of the virtual processor to each physical processor there, if you see there, to the scaled down version of your parallel system. Okay, since the number of processing elements decreases by a factor of n by p, if you see there, n is the problem size and p are the number of processing elements in your system. The computation at each processing element increases by a factor of n by p. As you are decreasing the number of processor, that is the p, from 10 to you can say the 5 in that case. Okay, and problem size is n there. So that is the, if you see there, task that is assigned to each processor in that particular system will be n by p, if you see there. So n are the you can say the size of that particular task from the given problem, and P are the number of you can say the it is assigned to that P number of processors. If you see there, N by P to each processor, that will be the work assigned to the each processor. Then if you see the last statement, the communication cost should not increase by this factor, since some of the virtual processors assigned to a physical processors might talk to each other. Yeah. So communication cost could not increase by this factor, since some of the virtual processors assigned to a physical processors might talk to each other, because there may be a possibility of the virtual processor, they need to communicate with one another in order to get the data from one another. If you see that, due to the data dependency, if you see that, so this will be the one way you need to consider there. And this is the basic reason for the improvement from building granularity, if you see that. So granularity, you know, that is the coarse granularity, and you can say the fine granularity you have studied. So granularity may be in terms of the problem size also. If you see that is the n, you are dividing the large problem into smaller number of tasks. That is the smaller number of large tasks, or the large number of smaller tasks, if you see that. So in our example, problem is n, if you see that, and each processor is performing on n by p task from that given problem in our current example. So same example we will see here, building granularity as an example. Consider the problem of adding n numbers on p processing elements. Okay, so number of processing elements we have taken are here p, and we are assuming that p are less than n, means processing element are less than the you can say number of tasks in the given or number of elements in a given problem, that is the n, p less than n, and both n and p are powers of 2. If you see that both are powers of 2 we have considered. So use the parallel algorithm for n processors, except in this case we think of them as virtual processors. Means virtual processors mean it might have scaled down, if you see that. So each of the p processors is now assigned n by p virtual processors. Yes, and the first log p of log n steps of the original algorithm are simulated in n by p log p steps on p processing elements. So subsequent log n minus log p steps do not require any communication. So if you are assuming there p processors now assign n by p virtual processor there, then the first log p steps out of the log n steps of the original algorithm are simulated only in n by p into log p steps, and that is also on a p number of processing elements. So in this case that is the subsequent log n minus log p steps do not require any communication. Means this kind of communication you can say the cost can be eliminated there, if you see there. Then for the same system, if you see there, the overall parallel execution time of this parallel system is theta of n by p into log p. N by p means that is a task assigned to each virtual processor into log p number of steps. If you see there, the cost is theta of n into log p. Yes, finally, you can modify this particular in terms of the theta notation, theta of n log p, which is asymptotically higher than the theta of n. Cost of adding n numbers sequentially. Therefore, the parallel system is not cost optimal. So we will come on final decision that parallel system is not cost optimal, because the cost is theta of n log p, which is asymptotically higher than the theta of n for adding the n numbers sequentially, if you see that. So from this you can conclude that parallel system is not cost optimal. Then we will take another example on granularity, that is continued in next slide also. Can we build granularity in the example in a cost optimal fashion? Okay, if each processing element locally adds its n by p numbers in time theta of n by p. N by p means this is the work done by each virtual processors in time theta of n by p. And the p partial sums on p processing elements can be added in time theta of n by p. So if you see the current example, 4 diagrams are shown here, A, B, C, D. So A having the 4 number of processing elements 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 having the partial sum of 0, 1, 2, 3, that is the 0 to 3, that is shown in diagram B. 0 having the sum from 0 to 3, 1 having sum from 4 to 7, 2 having partial sum from, we can show the 8 to 11, 3 having the partial sum from 12 to 15. So in a second communication step, 1 will communicate with 0, 3 will communicate with 2, and then that sum will be accumulated on 0th and second processing element, if you see there. So in step number C, 0 will have the sum 0 to 7, and processing element 2 will have the sum 8 to 15. Okay, and in next step, that is 2 will communicate with 0, and final sum will be accumulated on processing element number 0, that is the 0 to 15, if you see there. So a cost optimal way of computing the sum of 16 numbers using 4 processing elements is also possible, if you see there. So this is the example building on granularity given. So we'll continue same, and for the parallel runtime of this algorithm, uh, you can use the TP. TP is the parallel runtime equal to theta of n by p plus log p. So n by p are the, that is the work, you can say the done by each virtual processor plus log p number of steps. So TP equal to theta of n by p plus log p, and the cost is n. Cost is given as a n equal to omega of p time log p, if you see that. And this p, p means processing element, you should know. Then this is cost optimal so long as theta of n plus p log p, if you see that. So this particular algorithm can be cost optimal. Okay, if you see that, because you are considering cost as n equal to omega p log p, and uh, this is cost optimal as theta of n plus p log p, if you see there. That is represented in terms of the asymptotic notation, you see. Then scalability of parallel systems, if you see there, because uh, you can solve the smaller problem on a that is a smaller system, or large problem on a smaller system. Is it possible? Can you solve the large problem on a large system? Okay, this will be the different cases you need to consider there. So we'll see the scalability of parallel systems. That is for the FFT, fast Fourier transform, endpoint fast Fourier transform. So if you see the current slide, topic is scalability of parallel systems. How do we extrapolate performance from small problems and small systems to larger problem on larger configurations? If you see that, consider 3 parallel algorithms we have considered here. If you see there, that is the binary exchange, 2D transpose, and 3D transpose, considering the an endpoint fast Fourier transform, FFT, on 64 processing elements. Okay, so this is, graph is showing the speed up versus problem size, that is the n. Okay, as you are increasing the problem size n in this case, so how changes in speed up takes place there, you can see with the help of this particular graph. Okay, so here a comparison of the speedups obtained by the binary exchange 2D transpose and 3D transpose algorithms on 64 processing elements. If you see there, with uh, constant communication time TC equal to 2, we have considered TW per word transfer time equal to 4, TS startup time equal to 25, and TH means per hop uh, time, that is equal to 2. So clearly it is difficult to infer scaling characteristics from observations on small data sets on small machines. So it indicates how changes takes place. That is the speed up versus the problem size n, if you see that. So if you see the binary exchange, that is shown with the help of the continuous line. So initially speed up also goes on increasing, but afterwards it remains constant, if you see there, for a large problem size also, as n is increasing in this case. And if you see the second 2D transpose, that is the smaller dotted line. Okay, so initially that is the if you see there, speed up versus problem size, it is increasing initially, and then at certain level, okay, it will again achieve the that is the uniform, you can say the increasing that speed up, if you see there. Then 3D transpose, that is the dashed lines, if you see there. So initially that is the when it is starting, if you see that, on a smaller number of tasks from that particular problem. Okay, so speed up is more, so later one it will achieve the constant speed up, if you see there, even though that is the number of elements or the problem size is increasing there, if you see that. So this is showing the scalability of parallel systems. Okay, if you see that. So this is enough for today's lecture. We'll stop here because these points somewhat difficult to digest also for students, because topic is